Hello and welcome to another episode of Drafted and Distilled, the weekly pour of sports, stories, and a splash of good spirits. Hi everyone, I'm your host as always, Billy. Just a regular sports fan that loves to give my opinions as well as have a drink to mark the occasion. Guys, this is episode number 11. Man, these things are flying by so fast, and we are having such a good time doing them. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. I want to welcome back all my regulars, as well as anyone new to the podcast today. Welcome. Thank you for your support. Thank you for finding us, and thank you for sticking with us. Here at Drafted and Distilled, we pair sports and spirits in the best possible way, with good stories, honest opinions, and a drink in hand. Each week, we pour up a new spirit or cocktail, break down its flavor and character, then dive into the biggest takes in sports with a mix of insight, energy, and easy humor. It's not too serious, guys, and it's definitely not too polished. Just real talk for fans who love the game and a good pour. So, pull up a stool, everyone, join me, and let's get into it. So, here at Drafted and Distilled, we always start with our cocktail. What's in the glass each week. And today is a really interesting one for me. We are tasting a spirit that I haven't drank in probably 2 decades. And that is Southern Comfort. There's the bottle. When I was a younger guy, a younger man, we drank this like it was going out of style. Back in Texas, it was super cheap, super easy to get, and we enjoyed the heck out of it. But as some of you know, when you've gone too far with something, especially an alcohol like tequila or rum or whatever it is, and you have a bad experience with it, it's very difficult to go back to it. And that's the case with me and Southern Comfort. Um, a bunch of nights taking it way too far and just put this spirit behind me for good. Now, I was able to find it at the local liquor store here and begrudgingly bought it and want to try it with you guys. Now, the new branding, they call it SoCo. They don't call it Southern Comfort. That's from their website. Um, it doesn't pretend to be something that it's not. So this isn't the type of whiskey that you're going to buy and sip on. This isn't something that you buy, you show all your friends. Look, I bought this fantastic bottle of spirits. No, this is meant to uh, enjoy mixed. It was made, even on their website, they say this as something that's not as harsh as regular whiskeys and something just meant to be really easy to drink and enjoy. It can be enjoyed neat. You can drink it neat, which I have done before, but to me and on their website, it really indicates that it thrives when it's in a cocktail. And the meaning and the kind of purpose of it was to be mixed into cocktails. So here on Drafted and Distilled, we like to go to the website and see what they're saying about their product. Um, we always like to kind of get an idea what to expect. And they are saying many of the things that I just said about it being a mixing cocktail. There's a bunch of recipes there that you can make different drinks. And the nose of this is sweet, fruity with notes of peach, vanilla, and citrus. Uh, the taste is honeyed, sweet, creamy with peach nectar, vanilla, and spice. And the finish is lingering sweetness with caramel, cinnamon, and fruity notes. So, what we like to do here, guys, is just give it a smell. See if we can smell those notes in it. And the thing that you get, I mean, right up front, is sweet. Then it comes in with fruitiness. It's really difficult to pick out uh, different the different fruitiness, but it is a sweet spirit. So we are gonna have a taste, and like I said here on Drafted and Distilled, I always mix with Coke or Pepsi. Not always, but typically. Sometimes we do things differently depending on what we're tasting. But this is my favorite way to have a cocktail. So let's try it. Wow. Yeah, that really takes me back many years. Um, yeah, that is not good. um, that is so sweet when you mix it with sweet pop. It that is really bad. Um, now again, I was enjoying this when I was really young and broke, and this was something that we had laying around. Was it was able to easy to get. We were able to get it, so I'm not disparaging it, but yeah, this brings back a lot of not great memories for me, and nor am I really interested in going back there. I can see where people who don't like whiskey and don't like the harshness would like that. It's very smooth, and it calls itself a whiskey, but you actually do find Southern Comfort in the liqueur sections here in Canada. So it it's good. Some people will like it. I am not a fan anymore, and that kind of confirmed it for me. But here at Drafted and Distilled, we say if we like a cocktail, we say it tastes like more. That does not taste like more to me. It's good enough, but not something that I would reach for. But not every drink is for every person. These are my impressions. These are my opinions based on my past, and it just might not be for everyone. And that's okay. We'd love for you to try it yourselves. We'd love to hear your opinions on what we're doing here. And half the fun of this show is getting to hear from you guys. So let us know what you think. Now that the glass is filled, we are going to get into the sports talk for the week. And today we are going to be talking about Wildcard Weekend in the NFL. Um, Last weekend, I think it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, there were games played in the NFL for the first round of the playoffs. And we're going to go through each of the games. And I'll tell you what I think. We watched a lot of football around here, so watched a lot of the games. So let's get into it. So the first game we're going to talk about is Rams 34, Panthers 31. This was one of the games that I was kind of excited to watch, to be honest. The Los Angeles Rams have been really fantastic this year. Matthew Stafford, who is 37 years old, has been playing like a much younger quarterback. And really one of those feel good stories to watch the Rams. this year. I am a big fan of Sean McVay as well. So it was really fun to watch them play so well. Like I said, Stafford has been electric this year and is getting a lot of MVP talk. But the real reason I wanted to watch this is for Bryce Young and the Panthers. So, if you've been watching football the last few years, Bryce Young was selected number one in his draft class, and the Carolina Panthers have been a dumpster fire of a team. They've been going through head coaches, offensive coordinators, and they even benched Bryce Young a few times. And many, many people called him a bust. So it was so good to see him uh, lead his team to the playoffs. And they did have a real shot to win this game. It was very back and forth, um, all game long. It just came down to and what I thought would happen was that the Rams were just the better team. And I think that they're going to make a pretty good run here. I expect them to make the NFC Conference Championship and maybe even the Super Bowl. So, great game, great back and forth. The Rams just had more team and more talent, and they ended up winning. The next game that we're going to go over is the Bears and Packers. The Bears 31, Packers 27. And this game had a lot of the previous game that I was talking about. A quarterback that was drafted number one in his draft class and was really just written off. No one had more questions about their quarterback and whether or not they made a terrible mistake with the number one pick in the draft than Chicago. This was the definition of a make or break year for Caleb Williams. They brought in what was supposed to be the best offensive mind available in Ben Johnson as their head coach. And boy, did they ever click. It has made people who thought Caleb Williams was a bust really rethink everything. Um, and this game was the definition of what Caleb Williams needed. So he rallied the Bears back from an 18-point deficit to move on to the next round. And Ben Johnson seems to be the guy to get the most out of Caleb Williams. So Caleb Williams needed to prove that he was a NFL quarterback, and he did. And he even did in this game, which was kind of a cataclysm or a small universe of what he's been dealing with, let's call it, in his career. I really like the Bears this year. I think they can make the NFC Championship as well. I think they have a young team that is really fun to watch, and I would look out for them. They might be a year or two ahead of where they should be, but look out, everyone, because I think the Bears are going to be good for a while. The next game that we're going to talk about is the Bills 27, Jaguars 24. I was really rooting for the Jaguars here. They had a fantastic year. Again, talk about a team that's gone through many, many coaches. Um, and Trevor Lawrence looked fantastic this year. I really thought they could make it to the Super Bowl. They have a really fun and young roster, and they almost won this game if it weren't for Josh Allen typical playoff magic. This game was a good game to watch and was very back and forth. Um, the Bills won right at the end, again, to kind of rip the hearts out of the Jaguars. But maybe next year will be the year they make a run towards the Super Bowl. And one thing I did want to say about this, nothing to do with the game, but about the Jaguars team. I want to go on record here and say, you guys mark my words. While they're still figuring out how to best use Travis Hunter, he will be a top 5 player in the NFL in 2 to 3 years. And you heard it here first. I think he is one of the most electric players, and he plays on both sides of the ball. I I know that Tennessee wanted a quarterback number one, but I would have picked Travis Hunter number one if I were the Titans last year, to be honest. Again, great game. Didn't work out for the Jags, but they do have an exciting team to watch. The next game we're going to talk about is 49ers 23, Eagles 19. This one did surprise me. I was very interested in how this game was going to play out. The Eagles took a step back this year from really offensive juggernaut they were last year. The defense is still stacked with player after player that could make a Pro Bowl team. But neither one of the squad's offense or defense um, is living up, or let's say lived up to the standard of excellence that the Eagles have shown in the last couple of years. I was wondering if any of the changes, if any changes were going to come from this organization who it's Super Bowl or bust for them every year. They have a fantastic general manager. They have a great coach in Sirianni. And Philadelphia is a city that even booed Santa Claus one time. So they're not going to kind of wait around for a winner to be built. They want to win every single year. And there have been changes in the coaching staff. They fired their offensive coordinator. So um, the the 49ers just played better in this game. Um, Christian McCaffrey, for whatever reason, kind of refuses to get hurt, which in the last few years has been his thing. And they just look superior. The Eagles did lead the game in the third quarter, but again, a 49ers team that has been decimated by injuries just refuses to go away. I don't think that they will make it to the NFC Championship. I think they have kind of run its course here, but they played well and they won. So the next game is Patriots 16, Chargers 3. This game was so boring to watch, quite frankly. I know Justin Herbert has had a laundry list of injuries to deal with this year, and he's wearing braces on his hands and whatnot, but holy cow, did they ever look putrid on offense? It really never looked at any point like San Diego had a chance. The Patriots defense, pardon me, was really good. Um, but their offense didn't look very good at all either. The Patriots are going to have to clean up a lot to be considered back and a contender. They played a inferior team in this game and didn't look dominant. Patriots quarterback Drake May fumbled the football twice and lost one. And he was also the team's leading rusher, which, unless you're Josh Allen, you do not want. That's not a recipe for success for the Patriots. Good for them for winning the game, um, but their journey might be over pretty quick if they can't make some major adjustments and come out a lot sharper than they looked in this game. Then the last game of the weekend was the Texans 30 versus Steelers 6. This was the definition of a beatdown. Houston's defense was aggressive and relentless right from the moment the game started. Aaron Rodgers, if you watched this game at all, was completely frustrated by his team all night. He was yelling at his players, he was yelling at the refs, and he just had no answers for their defense. The Texans' offense does tend to struggle during big stretches, but I think that they have a chance because of how the defense is playing. And if they can play like they played against Aaron Rodgers against other teams, it's going to be very, very difficult to play against them. This possibly was Aaron Rodgers' last game, and that's kind of sad. But given that he has been playing so long and has been a Super Bowl winner, MVP winner, and since the end of the game, Mike Tomlin, who has coached the Steelers for 19 years, stepped down as well. Lots of changes coming for the Steelers, and they will look like a very different team next year. I doubt they will bring Aaron Rodgers back because I think his time is just over in the NFL. But we will see. Only time will tell. I did want to get into a couple of the things that have been happening this week as well. Jim Harbaugh was fired from his team, the Baltimore Ravens. Again, he had been coaching that team for 18 years. The two longest tenured coaches are now gone in the NFL with Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. It's looking like, according to ESPN today, that John Harbaugh will be signing with the Giants, which is very, very interesting to me. The Giants have run through coaches over the past, I don't know, 6 or 7 seasons. They've won, less than 20 games the last 2 seasons. There's been a lot of losses, a lot of interim coaches, and this might be the guy for them to take them back to where they were when Tom Coughlin and Eli Manning were there, which is Super Bowls, which is what any fan base wants. I would not have picked him to go here. I thought he was going to go to Miami, to be honest. But it looks like the Giants were pushing very hard the moment they found out that he was leaving his team. So good for him. So yeah, the Giants are going to be signing Jim Harbaugh. And there are 8 other teams that are looking for coaches. So the carousel will be really revolving, and it will be interesting who actually lands who. The other very interesting thing to me is Mike McDaniel, who used to be the coach for the Dolphins. There's lots of chatter about him becoming the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, which I love. He doesn't have to be the head coach there. The organization is one of the best in football, and he can just go and call plays. And he is a really gifted offensive coach, and I think that the Eagles should be backing the truck up, the money truck that is, to get him. For me, my advice to him and the Eagles were make this work. So it'll be interesting to see if he goes into a head coaching job or becomes the OC at the Eagles. That's my take this week, guys. Lots of football talk, which we love here on Drafted and Distilled. Big football fans, and we will be continuing the football talk next week, but we'll get into that here in just a second. So before we close things out, one thing that we always say here on this channel is we want to hear your take on my take. So I've just gone through my football take. We want to hear what you have to say. Let us know your thoughts. If I'm out to lunch, if I've said something so magical you can't help but repeat it. I doubt it, but hopefully. Um, and I'll get into the social media platforms here in just a second. We do like to preview what's coming next week. So we are going to be going back into the Johnny Walker products, back into their stable for the Black Label. And I have it right here. Johnny Walker Black Label. This one is said to be the best one to mix in their stables, so can't wait to try that. And on the sports side, we're going to be sticking with the NFL playoffs and what they call the divisional round. So it'll be exciting to see which teams make it. If I've guessed right, if I know who's going to be playing in the championship games the following weekend. For our social media platforms, you can find us on Instagram, drafted_distilled, on X, at draft and distill, Facebook, Drafted and Distilled, and YouTube, Drafted and Distilled as well. Be sure, guys, to like, subscribe, and follow on all of these platforms. It really helps us out to know that we're doing the right thing, that you guys like what we're doing, and we'll continue doing it. Feel free to comment and give us your opinions. As always, I'm Billy, and this has been Drafted and Distilled. Till next time, guys, stay smooth, stay spirited, and I'll see you guys next round. Have a great day. Bye-bye.